While we have been digging into this situation for a month, the district attorney's office announced they were only made aware of this problem yesterday. Mecklenburg County District Attorney Spencer Merriweather announced that he's now working to tie speeding cases to those 170 radar and LiDAR units CMPD used to build cases against drivers.
Just yesterday, before any of this became public, prosecutors started to work to freeze some speeding and criminal cases tied to CMPD radar units. Queen City News reporter Daniel Pierce is live in Uptown outside the courthouse where, Daniel, people want to know, is their case going to be impacted by this?
Yeah, that, and can they just show up to the courthouse tomorrow demanding a retrial?
Well, the short answer to that is no. What the district attorney's office has to now do is they have to look at the exact number that we now have on how many of these radars are being impacted and then check and see which cases those radars are connected to and then look at each case individually. That is where things look to be headed right now. This is not going to be a short task. It's not going to be easy, especially given the fact that Mecklenburg County Courthouse is already short-staffed and already has such a large backlog due to COVID-19. In fact, I spoke with one defense attorney earlier today, and he said that this has the potential to be one of the worst case scenarios to hit the district attorney's office in a generation.
I really didn't have the time to deal with this. I did our best to get through a tough time as a whole in the system. This is really the last thing that anyone really wanted to have to go through. It's going to slow things down more than they are.
Right now, the Mecklenburg County court system is trying to figure out how it's going to dig itself out of a mound of potential cases involving one of the most common citations issued, speeding.
Speeding tickets are something that really affect every one of us. It's the functional equivalent of the emergency room of the court system.
Defense attorney Bill Powers is known for his DWI and traffic case work. He says this news did not take him by surprise, but the next step is to figure out the depth of the problem.
Let's find out what's applicable in your particular matter. I think the first step of this is looking at active cases. Then it remains to be seen whether or not this is appropriate to challenge prior citations, which I'm not willing to assume at this point it is or is not.
CMPD issued more than 112,000 speeding citations between 2018 and 2020. If you've gotten a speeding ticket in Charlotte since, the discovery might not impact your case as much as you'd wish, even in situations where other evidence was found, like drugs or that you were under the influence.
Evidence may be suppressed, and the question is, if they don't have that piece of evidence, does that kill the case? Does it break the chain or connectivity? And so in a speeding case that's related to drive while impaired or a possession as a result of a stop, I would not necessarily just assume willy-nilly there was a problem with the radar detector, therefore my case automatically gets dismissed.
In a statement to Queen City News, Mecklenburg County District Attorney Spencer Merriweather III said the result of speed detector devices are used in court to corroborate the opinion of a trained officer as to the speed of a motor vehicle. The cases this could have the biggest impact on are those where a person was found to have been speeding by only a few miles per hour over the limit.
Fortunately, we got a DA's office in Charlotte that they're going to take the time, they're going to do the right thing. If you're going 110 miles an hour down I-77 and it's posted 55, even if the device is off slightly, that's not going to make a tremendous difference.
Also developing tonight, the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office has announced they are ceasing the use of LiDAR devices in traffic stops. They have 11 LiDAR devices that are impacted by this. They have said that the in-unit devices are not impacted. They are also saying that they are trying to find another company that can recalibrate and certify the devices that they already have in-house. Live in Uptown, Daniel Pierce, Queen City News.
All right, thanks.